the daily African Proverbs. Our topic today is going to be guided by an African proverb from Mozambique. Mozambique is the place where we are going to go virtually today, and I am going to share the link to the room, to the live stream on top of the Clubhouse room, so that those who are just joining me can know how to catch the live stream. My name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am really excited to be here. Today is Friday, and here in Seattle, Washington, where I am live streaming from, this weekend is a long weekend. It's a holiday weekend, so many people are going to be more relaxed this weekend. It's also summertime, and many people are doing a lot of barbecuing and getting together with family and friends. So I am also excited because I'll be traveling out of town from tomorrow, and I'll be gathering with family and just chilling a little and taking a little break from these sessions that I host here every Monday to Friday. I host the daily African Proverbs, and I really love it, and I enjoy especially the wisdom that comes with being together with all of you and being able to learn from each one of you whenever we gather here together. So if you're joining me on YouTube, thank you so much. If you are on Clubhouse, I see Sarah and I also see Edgar. Thank you very much for being here. And our proverb today says that a parasite cannot live alone. A parasite cannot live alone. I want you to join me on the stage if you can. I would love to hear your voices in a moment. But our entire conversation is going to be centered around this Mozambican proverb: a parasite cannot live alone. We all know that we are much better off whenever we work together. Even if it's just doing chores in the house. If it is not just you who has to do all the dishes and all the clothes and all the mopping and all the cooking, you feel that there is support, maybe from your children, your siblings, your wife, your partner, as long as there is support, the work is lighter, I grew up in Kenya, where sometime for you to build your house, you depended on your community to literally physically show up for you. And I saw people building semi-permanent houses, which were really beautiful, by the way. But there had to be a moment where people were, mixing mud with water and then using it for the walling of the semi-permanent houses or the mud-thatched houses, and you had to have other people help you with that. You could not do it alone. And also there are other spiritual aspects of building a house, especially in Africa, where you cannot just establish your own home by yourself. You have to involve the community in the process of creating your own house or your own home. And also, while we've also been, there are many slogans, Africa Unite, that reminds us that unity is important. We have many slogans from reggae, that remind us of unity, the importance of unity. We have many slogans that come out of protests, like the civil rights movement, and many times we don't really go further than that to understand the real meaning of interdependence, of being united with other people. So today's episode is also going to take us through the journey of learning a little more about specifics of what are the benefits of working together, of being interdependent, because we truly depend on each other. And even within our own bodies, different organs depend on other organs to thrive. We depend a lot on nature. Last night, after dinner, I was just in my own meditation and thinking that I'm very, very privileged. I have a garden in my backyard, and sometime I can go I literally planted the seeds to seedlings to vegetables that we're currently consuming with my children. And when I thought about it last night, I thought of how we all depend on nature in order to survive. Your body needs something specific from nature. We are interdependent with nature for our food, our medicine, even our breathing capabilities really depends on what we put out in nature and also what we get out from nature, what we give nature and what we take from nature. So these are the three specific benefits of collaboration, unity, and interdependence. Number one is increased creativity and productivity. You can do much more if you're not doing it alone. You can have the time to be more creative, but also you can really make headway in whatever you do. Even if you are an athlete that loves to run, when you're running with a group, it gets lighter, it gets easier, because you're literally seeing that you're not doing it on your own. Number two, improved communication and problem solving skills. If you have a good team that you're working with and you're not working alone. I'm a musician. I play nyatiti, a traditional African music. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are probably seeing my background. I have 2 nyatitis on my background. And playing music alone, even if it's an instrument that is a solo performance instrument, it's not as enjoyable as playing it with someone else. So I can always practice on my own in the house, but when I want to do a show, I always add a saxophone player, a flute player, a drummer, a guitar player, just depending on how big of a performance we want to do. And then lastly, another benefit of interdependence or collaboration is that it provides greater resilience in the face of stress and adversity. I've seen this in my own family. We had a huge family. My father was a polygamist, and my mother was the second wife, and luckily we were also many in our own household. And one of the things I see is whenever we are faced with a big challenge, our numbers always help us. Whenever we even have a funeral in the family, people contribute little by little, and before you know it, you've reached the goal that you wanted. If there's a child that needs to go to school and somehow their parent cannot afford it, little by little, quickly, before you know it, somebody got the uniform, somebody got the books, and the child goes to school without too much pressure on the parent. So those are some of the values of being interdependent and being intentional about it, making sure as you take away, you're also giving. We are faced with a lot of challenges when it comes to interdependence. For example, if you look at the relationship that Africa has with China, or Africa has with the US or European previous colonial powers, is that they take a lot and then they give, they just give a little drop, they just give crumbs in return, and that does not work, and it is not sustainable, because it disrupts the natural flow of things in the universe, in the world. So that is the beginning of our time together today. I want to hear your voices as well. My name is Simon Javan Okelo. I am the host of the African Father in America podcast, which is available across all podcasting platforms. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is the link at the top of the room on Clubhouse. I am actually live streaming this. We live stream Monday to Friday every week, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Convert it to your time zone so that you can join me every day. And also make sure you nominate somebody to join the African Father in America Club at the very, very top of your screen if you're joining us on Clubhouse. Now, the proverb that is grounding our conversation today is from Mozambique, and it says, "A parasite cannot live alone." I want to hear what Debbie and everyone else on the stage have to say about this proverb, and also the 3 takeaways that I shared. Is there any that stood out for you, and where are you joining us from? Share with us those few areas in order for us to enrich this conversation. Let's start with you, Debbie.
Greetings and appreciation to all. Debbie Berlin, Game Dev Debbie, joining from Maryland near DC. I really like this proverb because, yes, as we're all saying, we're stronger together, and we can lend our gifts and talents and our abilities to each other, to the cause we're trying to create together. And it's like flavoring a delicious soup. It's, you put in all these ingredients and it comes out so much better. So I really like this proverb. It reminds me of the one, when you go by yourself, you go quicker. When you go with others, you go further. And that idea of collaborative creation and collaborative efforts, and like you said, with the runners, or with even birds flying in the sky, they fly together, they have lift. They have lift from each other's wings that helps propel them forward. So I really like this proverb. And I also like, Simon, that you talked about our interconnectivity with nature, because we are nature. We are nature. We are part of this planet. It is us. It's in our body. It's in the food we eat. We are connected with our earth and with each other. So I really appreciate this proverb today and your perspective. Thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for being here, and for just blessing us with your words of wisdom as well. We are definitely nature. If you attend African events, especially if you, even if you look at the way libation is poured, we always have to share a little bit of what we want to enjoy with our ancestors, especially if it's alcoholic beverages. When you open a new whiskey, a new bottle of whiskey, before you start enjoying it, you have to pour some to the ancestors. And also when we are born, there are parts of that process. There are parts of that process that are buried. When we die, we are buried. And in my tribe, we always say lo kuom lo. Lo kuom lo means soil on top of soil. So I really love that. Lavender, how are you? Where are you joining us from? What are your perspectives on today's proverb? Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, Simon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. Hey, Debbie. It's amazing to see you, as always. My name is Lavender. I'm speaking from Kenya. My perspective about today's proverb, "A parasite cannot live alone," is that there's sort of a tough one. And I see that there are benefits of interdependence, but then interdependence is an amazing thing when it's reciprocated. But when we look at the proverb, the parasite bit is alarming for me. And we have parasites amongst us. So I see this proverb as a warning that parasites like depending on people, and I should look out for that. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Lavender. I appreciate what you're saying completely, and we should definitely take this proverb as a warning, similar to the proverb we were discussing yesterday. The proverb we were discussing yesterday said that when you're eating with the devil, you should use a long spoon, you know.
Long story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But also we learned that there is no devil outside of you. You are the devil. So in this case, there is no parasite outside of you. You are the parasite. So we have to think about it as if there's nobody else that we can set expectations for. We have to set expectations for ourselves. You know, if this proverb says a parasite cannot live alone, we are actually in real life parasites as human beings, you know, because we are not individually, we are not taking back enough that we are not putting back into nature as much as we are taking out. But we also fall short even in our own relationships, not just with other organisms that help us survive. You know, we fall short within our relationships with people, you know. Even in this era of social media, you know, for somebody to create content, even organize an event like this, Daily African Proverbs, consistently like we do, it takes sacrifice and hard work and a lot for such a thing to happen. It's the same with somebody creating a TikTok video or a reel and or a YouTube video, and then the people who come to view it, you know, they just scroll through. If they don't like it, they just go, you know, they go to the next one. But the person who created it probably spent a whole day figuring it out and a couple of weeks thinking about it and researching. So it just really means that you know, we should reconsider how we value things that contribute to our own existence and our own well-being, including little things like what we interact with on social media, you know. So again, I deeply appreciate you, Lavender. Let's hear from Stephen. Stephen, how are you doing? Thank you for being consistent and joining us here consistently and supporting with the behind the scene efforts. Let us know what your perspective on today's proverb from Mozambique is. The proverb says, a parasite cannot live alone. Share with us your perspectives and where you're joining us from. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Simon, for having me. I'm Steven, joining from Kisumu, Kenya. Today's topic is a good one, and it kept me thinking. But what comes in my mind is it reminds us on the power of unity. Uh, and there is a say that goes, unity is strength, or unity is power. So just reminds us the importance of working as a team and doing or trying to achieve or accomplish a goal uh, as a team. But again, reading and trying to digest the proverb further, I would also like to borrow from what Simon said and what also Toya have said. Simon mentioned contributing towards a funeral bit by bit, and with no time you'll realize you've accomplished your goal and achieved the target that you wanted to raise for the funeral. Toya also have mentioned that bit of the parasites, some parasites existing in our midst. You know, I want to take these two and relate with the climbers. There's uh, trees or flowers that have got no stem, but they depend on other trees for survival, or something like moss. Moss have to attach itself to a wall or to another plant for it to thrive and do well. So it's important for us to identify uh, who do we want to associate with, who do we want to attach ourselves with, because if the top organ is not goal driven, then uh, there will be no unity and there will not be that interdependence in whatever you are trying to accomplish as a team. So it's important for that unifying figure to be a substance of unity. It should be someone who puts everyone together and is able to hold these people together until that goal is accomplished. Thank you, Simon, for having me. That was my moment.
Thank you very much, Steve, for your contribution. I really appreciate that. There are plants there are plants that depend on others in order to thrive, and that's a really good example of how we all actually depend on something in order for us to thrive and survive. So I appreciate your contribution, and I also wanted to let you all know that next week, Monday and Tuesday, we will not be doing the daily African Proverbs. I will be off for those days, so we will be back on Wednesday next week. So just note that if other people that attend these sessions, let them know that Monday and Tuesday we are taking a little break. And also during that time, we still have content on YouTube that you can actually engage with. We have these conversations recorded and published on YouTube, and also across other podcasting platforms. You will find the African Father in America podcast, where most of the episodes of our conversations are always kept. I want to just thank you all for being with us on the stage. I see that we have Martin and Kay and Brother and Ebony on the stage. We would love to have a few more people who can share their perspectives as well. So if you're listening and you're on Clubhouse right now with us, join us on the stage. Just raise your hand. Hand raising is currently open. I will be turning it off not too long from now, maybe in 10 minutes. And also for those who are joining us on YouTube, your presence means a lot to me. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate if you can do that. And also push the notification button on YouTube so that when we are live next time, YouTube can notify you. If you're just joining us, we gather here every Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we bring in new African proverbs and we share new knowledge, and we share African ancestral wisdom. And so today our proverb is, a parasite cannot live alone. It's from Mozambique, and the theme of our conversation today is benefits of interdependence, So I want to create space for you, Martin. Share with us your thoughts, where you're joining us from, and also when this proverb is read out, what is it that comes to your mind? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simon, and those who have spoken before and after. I'm reminded that the ancestors are interdimensional beings, and in our historical spiral, and we're able to reach out beyond our present awareness. And so it just occurs to me that it's a set of instructions. The statement that the proverb that when you want to go faster, you go by yourself, it depends on what you're building and what you're doing. If you're creating something new, you're inventing something new in oneself that will be a new vibration for the people, be it music, that's a reciprocal process. So that collaboration and building something greater than ourselves, in conjunction with our wisdom, our technical abilities, our insights, our celebration, is one thing that we can do faster together. And it's something that's necessary for the world at this time. And it's not all technology in the sense of wires and accumulated data. When we're raising a child and a family and a village, those interconnections are much broader and deeper, wiser when done together. And I think it also says that parasite, it depends on what it is. Certain parasitical psychopathic behaviors have to be excluded identified, and the group has to stand strong in a circle and make sure that it stays outside of our venue. When it's, and I guess I would refer to certain capital structures, corporations, things that are artificial and alien to our culture, language, love for each other. And I think I'll let that resonate. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Martin, also for, just blessing us with incredible words of wisdom. And I want to move on to Kay. Kay, how are you doing? Where are you joining us from? And what are your perspectives on today's proverb from Mozambique?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing good, and I hope everyone else is as well. I'm talking from, I'm on Abenaki land, commonly called Vermont, and this proverb to me feels like a warning, but also a check on fear because of the possibility of a beneficial symbiotic relationship that can occur. Like, for instance, in your microbiome, you have this balance that is very interesting. But it can also be unbalanced, which is, that's going to affect your health as well. And but I think it's also it's about having a healthy outlook that's not discounting a possibility of interdependence, just like you said right at the top of the YouTube description. And thanks again for the room.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kay, for your contributions as well. And thank you for making the time to join us again today. I want to move on to Brother Earth. How are you doing today? And when you hear today's proverb from Mozambique, it says, a parasite cannot live alone. What is it that comes to your mind? Let us know where you're also joining us from. Thank you.
Top of the day, Simon and family. I'm calling from the North Carolina territory. Hey, Simon, if you would go to someone else and come back to me in a moment. I got something on my hands right now.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, my brother. I will come to you, Brother Rushi, in just a second. I just want to take a moment to welcome everyone who has just joined us on YouTube. My name is Simon Okelo. I host this Daily African Proverb since January 2021. So we've been learning a lot of African proverbs over those few, years, and we can't do this on our own. So your presence right now, whether it's on YouTube or Clubhouse, is deeply appreciated. Similar to what this proverb is saying, there is a sense of interdependence even in this moment where, my team and I are producing the content that we are consuming, but there is no village without the village fire. If you are all not there to bring your pieces of the firewood to make the village fire, we can't have this conversation, and so your time is deeply, deeply appreciated. I want to, just let you all know that next week, Monday and Tuesday, I will not be here, so we will not be having this session, but from Wednesday, we will be back to normal. This weekend, it's a long holiday weekend here in the US, so I'm just taking advantage of that, traveling with the family and, slowing down a little. I'm also in the process of planning Madaraka Festival on August 13th and 14th. This is the biggest event I have been producing for the last 8 years. This is an event that brings together Africans in Africa and the African diaspora, and we gather around music, food, and our culture. So we are currently in deep conversations with some of the top talents in Africa and some of the top talents here in the US. And so on those dates, August 13th and 14th, we want you to join us at Pier 62 at the waterfront in Seattle, literally in downtown Seattle. We will be live streaming it too on One Vibe TV on YouTube. So if you can't make it to Seattle, you can still join us on YouTube. So spread the word about that. Take a moment, check out my Instagram. You'll be able to see some of the posts, and you can follow the thread and engage with the conversation around Madaraka Festival. Now I'm here to just introduce you, Brother Rushi, quickly. Share with us where you are, what your thoughts are on this incredible proverb from Mozambique, and also how you're doing.
Thank you, Ayada. Thank you, Simon. I am calling from Seattle. This proverb made me think first of my plight. Well, about 12, 13 years ago is when I stopped eating pork. And one of the main reasons I stopped eating pork and some other meats was I was afraid of parasites in my body. So that's what I first thought of when I first saw this proverb is the parasitic nature of parasites in your body, consuming too much meat and things like that. But then I realized that, parasites can come from meat, it can come from water, it can come from vegetables. We are all parasites inside that live on this earth. Just the same way as, in Africa, we have those big hippos and they have those birds on their backs. Everything is there for a reason. We all are feeding off of each other in some sense. And I think it only gets troublesome when a parasite feeds too much, and that's when illnesses can occur within the body, whether that's physically or mentally. But yeah, that's really all I have in reference to this proverb. It's a very small proverb in reference to the words, but it means a lot when you actually read those five words. It says a lot about survival. And I think that's it. That's all I have. Thank you so much, Simon.
That's beautiful. Your contribution is deeply appreciated, Rushi. I agree. I've said a few times during our conversation today, and also in the past, we've had a conversation around this same proverb, and it's a reminder that we also honor our role as parasites, because we are all parasitic in nature, and it's just something that once we are aware that we are parasitic, then we know we cannot live alone. So we seek, relationships that would allow us to thrive. You remember Steve was speaking about plants that depend on other plants, or the wall. It climbs on things in order for it to grow. But if it climbs on an environment that is not conducive, it withers away, So just being aware that once you know that you have to depend on others, then you have to know who do you depend on, right?
Right. That's very true. You got to know who. Yes, you do.
Thank you, man. I want you to stay on stage. I'll be doing one more round with everyone on the stage. I just want to, because we are taking a long break, I want to take this opportunity to just check in with you all in regards to, over the last few months, we've been tweaking these daily African proverbs, adding the takeaways from every episode. We added the YouTube aspect of this presentation. So once we hear your interpretations of today's proverb, once we hear from Brother and Jay, I want to just get feedback, what is it? And I want you to think about this while we hear from Brother and Jay. What is it that has given you the most value from attending the Daily African Proverbs show, and what is it that we can improve? Just those two things, Brother, now I want you to actually first share with us your perspective on this Mozambican proverb that says a parasite cannot live alone. share with us your thoughts, and then we also want to know where you're joining us from and how you're doing.
I'm doing well again, Simon. I'm calling from the North Carolina territory once again, and peace and love to you and all the family. And when I first heard this proverb, you know, automatically when I heard the parasite, my mind went to the negative with it. But I love how you find a positive spin or way to reflect upon the proverb. And the first two things to look at it, from a positive aspect, I would say, it's an old saying, two heads are better than one, and it takes teamwork to make the dream work. You know, of course, when dealing with a parasite, it ain't teamwork. Most of the time, the parasite getting what he need, regardless of the host. And then there's also another saying, it takes two to tango. And then, or you can look at it, it takes two to argue, because we always were taught, a person can't argue by themselves. That's what I say for the proverb. But as far as the daily African, the you know what I'm trying to say, the title of the room and of the podcast, Simon. I really appreciate the room because sometimes reflecting on the proverb, sometimes I feel like you be picking a proverb that's reflecting upon things that I'm experiencing in my life. Well, I don't know if you're doing it from your life, but either way, it helps me reflect deeper on things that I'm going through or experiencing. And a lot of time, the wisdom shared within the room, it gives me it shines a new light to the situation, and it's times, helps me to find a clearer thought or a better path to whatever result that I'm seeking. So I want to say thank you, Simon, for the room and the wisdom, as well as from all the families. Wisdom as well. Peace and love, family.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you deeply for your perspectives on the proverb and also for your feedback on the daily African proverbs. Jay, how are you? Where are you joining us from? And what are your perspectives on this proverb today?
Thank you, Brother Simon. I'm in Seattle. And on this proverb, I really do like following Brother. I truly do. I just love a lot of the wisdom that he shares from his own experiences and background and upbringing. But the first thing, of course, that came to mind for me as well is the negative when it comes to a parasite. And I still kind of feel that way, but it really has to do with your definition of a parasite. Because everything in life has a benefit, has a purpose. It was created for a reason. But in terms of this room, I think wisdom has more value than gold. You can have all the gold, the money, the wealth in the world, but not the wisdom to know how to manage it wisely, and intelligently and responsibly. So this room to me is like gold. You just gain so much knowledge and wisdom and a deeper appreciation and understanding of life. And I agree with Brother in your role and your responsibility in life in such a way where it broadens your horizons and broadens your understanding. This is Jay, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jay. That's really well said. And, I appreciate you for your consistency in supporting and showing up. If you're just joining us, I want to welcome you. This is, the Daily African Proverbs. We are in the African Father in America Club on Clubhouse. We're also live on YouTube. My YouTube channel is African Father in America Podcast. So subscribe. The link is at the top of the Clubhouse room, so that when we go live Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can catch these incredible conversations that we host here. I want to, because I'm right in between, brother and Jay. I want to just come to you, Rushi, then I'll go to Kay and Martin. I do see that Martin has been tapping his mic for a while. So Martin, I just want you to unmute and let me know if you have something to say right now, or should I go to Rushi, Kay, then you?
Yeah, I do. I further want to amplify what Jay said and something that Lavender said. Well, that and I can't wait for Wednesday. So yeah, I think we should listen to some of the YouTube and the podcasts. Until then, and your well-deserved rest and getting ready for this beautiful festival. It does occur to me after hearing others that training the parasite to be symbiotic is whether you look for either perspective, that humans are doing this. I don't think we do this intentionally on our own, and so teaching us how to move better and reciprocally and regenerate and heal Gaia is probably the group effort, and to change our role, to change our hearts and our alignment with spirit to do the best for Gaia. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much, good brother.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Martin, for your kind words. Let's go to you, Brother Rushi. Just your perspective on the value and any feedback the value of the Daily African Proverbs since you started attending, and also what are some improvements that we can make?
Well, the value is very significant to me. It's something that really can't even put a weight on or even scale how important it is. To me, I think when I look at these proverbs and the way that first I got to give you, Simon, and whoever takes the time and puts these proverbs together with the pictures. Whoever does that, I think is pretty smart. Pretty much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
we hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just traveling that journey with you because I did
Oh, okay.
I did that for a long time. Researching the proverbs, identifying.
Researching the proverbs and
Yeah,
then putting the picture, because to me, like sometimes I'll think back about the proverb and the picture comes to my mind, or I think whoever takes the time to do that is just doing a great job at first. And it would be so awesome to see this in a book format, because I mean, thing is, you do so much. This is so much work, I feel, and I'm so grateful that you and your team do this every day. It's pretty much synonymous to the same work a pastor does at a church when he has his Bible and he goes in every day and he preaches and he does Sunday school. It's the same. It reminds me of the same type of. It's the same type of energy. You know, these proverbs they come from our ancestors. You know, and for us to be able to talk about them in this way, this is how I start my day. And without this, it would be very hard for me to structure me having a great day, because I use the proverb of the day, and I use it as my foundation. I try to do that. So as far as changing much, it's not really much I can see that you could change. And I think I know the goal is to have the room to grow. And I don't know what you change to encourage growth or encourage more participation. That hasn't came to me yet. So I don't know exactly what you change. All I know is I feel like if we keep being consistent, the team keeps being consistent, uh, growth will happen and change will happen, you know. But I don't know. I don't have anything to change. There's nothing I would say.
Thank you, Rushi. I love how you talked about this being like the same process as what preachers do, and my mother and even my father were preachers. They were evangelists, so the apple does not fall far from the tree, right?
You're right, but it doesn't.
No, and the thing is, I value this much like you do. Like, I can't start my day positively without these. So even if I was not doing this room, before I started doing this, I was already collecting African proverbs, checking them out daily, picking which one I like. And instead of just doing that on my own, in October 2020, I began being more aggressive with sharing them online. But if you look at my social media, even 6-7 years ago, I used to share them inconsistently. So when I started the podcast, I was like, this is what I should do. This should be the kind of media that I create, because I researched and found that it's not there. And I also felt that I talk too much about Africa. I run One Vibe Africa. Why can't I create a unique content that really elevates Africa daily, not once a year, but something that I can also point to my daughters every day that can educate them and tell them, look, today this is the proverb. Are you living by this proverb? Yeah.
That definitely works.
And also, my mom used these proverbs on me. I don't know how much she used them on my other siblings, but her favorite proverb was that kitimo marach itimo neni wuon, kitimo maber itimo neni wuon, which is my mother tongue Luo, and it means when you do good, you do it for yourself. When you do bad, you also do it for yourself. And that is like a mantra. It's always ringing in my head. How I treat you when we are coming up with a deal, I think about that. How I treat my kids when I'm playing with them, when I am restricting them from watching TV, I think about that, So I really appreciate your comments, your kind words, and your encouragement.
Eric, come on.
And now I want to come to you, Kay. Kay, I've seen you attending these sessions quite consistently as well. What are your thoughts? Feedback? Anything we can change?
My thoughts are this room. It allows me to reconnect to all who came before me, and it opens my mind to new perspectives from folks that are here. And this room brings me solace, and it's a moment of peace, and it's just a great break from everything to remain connected, and which I think is very helpful. And I don't really have any suggestions for improvement. I don't know if there's an interest in maybe trying to put it into a school setting for children at all. I'm not sure if that's an interest, but I thought it might be fun for the younger generation as well. But that was just a thought.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thought. Every Saturday, we used to have this same session, but with children and their parents. It was so fun. It was just so incredible. Just listening to the honesty that children respond to these proverbs with was. Sometimes we would laugh, sometimes we would cry literally, and sometimes we would also just not say anything, just listen. I miss those days. The reason we don't do those sessions is just capacity, and also making this sustainable. If it grows to a point where we are generating revenue by doing this work, then it will make sense to bring back the session with the children. I feel that it's much needed. And it's something we will definitely continue considering and figuring out how to implement. Let's hear from you, Stephen. What are your thoughts? It took a while for me to convince you to start joining these sessions, but now you show up every day. What have you taken away as the value of these sessions, and what do you think we should do to improve it?
Simon, you will help me translate this because Toya was giving you a part that you are throwing wisdom. Met tudo kitchen ka kichokai. Can you translate that, please?
So you'll let me know if this is accurate, but the understanding the beauty or the how the taste of the honey is when the bee stings you.
Yes, so you've done it right, Simon, and that's why I've kept on dipping my hand deep and deep into this hive, because the wisdom and the knowledge I leave this place with, I leave this room each and every session satisfied, and I leave the room having learned something new. So about improving the room, I would say for now it's okay the way it is, and maybe I would like to concur with Kay if there are possibilities of bringing about that aspect of the kids, so that as we elders are facing out of these lectures, we have our kids that will be taking over from us, so that they also grow up learning from such sessions. Thank you, Simon.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, if you're a parent in this room and you're interested, let me know. Just send me or Lavender a message on Instagram, or or on any other platform where you feel comfortable, and let us know the day of the week, besides Saturday and Sunday, the day of the week that works for you, so that we can leave Saturday and Sunday out for now, so that they can be rest days, but we can make it happen on Monday, on Tuesday, and on Friday. Currently, Wednesday and Thursday, we have booked them for Wednesdays. We have the poetry session where we actually want to expand it beyond having Chioma only. We want to host other poets. So if you know a poet that is available on Wednesday, let me know, or let Lavender know. If you know, an African spiritual leader that is available on Thursdays. Thursdays, we've reserved it for African spiritual leaders, like Gogo Rutendo Ngara, Lita. So if you know anyone in that category, those are, individuals and leaders that we host on Thursdays. But Friday is open, Tuesday is open, and Monday is open. We bring in different guests on those days, but we can focus on children either Monday, Tuesday, or Friday. So let me know. We will move on to you, Lavender. Share with us, the value you've taken away from these conversations, the Daily African Proverb, since you joined us, since you started attending, and what you think we should do to improve it.
Thank you, Simon. The value I get from the Daily African Proverbs is immeasurable. Each session, every day, like Brother said, sometimes I feel like you see what I need to listen to, like the information I need to absorb to set my spirit, or to just set my day straight. The Proverbs sometimes are quite emotional, sometimes they're funny, and learning from
people across the world. Right now, not many people have time to talk, not even among friends. And when I come to this room every day, I'm excited. I'm always looking forward to learning from everyone. And thank you so much, Simon, because for a leader, doing this and having the regular sessions is not easy. And you're doing remarkable work. I am not sure if I can match your capacity or capabilities as per the moment, but I'm learning so much from you, and you're valued and appreciated so much. I don't know what we can change right now, but what I can say is whoever is not being part of the Daily African Proverb is missing out on so much. Thank you. I'm Lavender and I'm complete.
Thank you very much for your kind words. Debbie, also share with us, your what value have you taken away from this session since you joined, and what can we improve?
Absolutely. I did want to say quickly about the parasites proverb, because I've just been reading about the benefits of parasites and how they can sometimes benefit the host by activating our immune system inside of our intestines. I think it's such a beautiful appreciation of when we consider good versus bad, but realizing the interconnectivity of it all, like we were talking about before. And as far as the African proverb gathering, this is such a blessing to me. I'm so appreciative. This daily gathering where we share our wisdom and community and the celebration of African culture. I'm learning so much and I feel so filled and so blessed. And I'm very appreciative, as folks have said, to your leadership and to the entire team. And I also agree with the idea of sharing it more with children. I'm very blessed and I'm very appreciative. So thank you so much to all. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Debbie, and thank you to each one of you that took your time to think and share with us your perspective of how you think we could improve, and also just the value that you've been receiving from these sessions. When we produce every episode, our hope is that you, our listeners and our viewers and our friends, family, and everyone that shows up really goes away with something, and so I'm so happy that there is something that everyone takes away. And also all of you shared something, you're able to give us something that we can also take, we can receive and improve on what we have been doing for quite a while now. I think we've surpassed the 10,000 hours, of mastering how to do something. Is it 10,000 hours? Who knows? Who is in this audience that knows about these numbers in relation to mastery? Okay, I assume that means that what I said is accurate. Go ahead, Kay.
It is accurate.
Okay. Thank you. Again, I'm really grateful. We are at the tail end of our time together today, and our conversation has been guided by a proverb from Mozambique. And the proverb says, a parasite cannot live alone. And this small exercise we did at the very end of our conversation today really helped with exemplifying how this space, this show is also a show that is, shows that we are interdependent. No matter what content we bring, unless it's of value to you, we should not be doing it. So this is satisfying. If you missed it, we shared 3 takeaways from this episode. You can catch it if you are able to watch the whole conversation on YouTube, or listen to this episode on all podcasting platforms. And remember, We need you to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you can. The link is at the top of the Clubhouse room. And also, if you are on Clubhouse and you haven't joined the African Father in America Club, this is a great opportunity for you to do that, and also invite a few people that you believe should be part of this community. With that, I really wish you a beautiful weekend. If you are, in the continent, in the motherland, enjoy some traditional African food on me. We don't enjoy these things as much as we would like here in the diaspora. If I wanted to eat a good ugali and fish, I would have to probably travel for at least 30 minutes driving, and then wait for another 30 minutes, to get the right fish or the right veggie. So, enjoy these things if you're in the motherland. If you're in the diaspora, if you're in the US, have a nice long holiday. If you're elsewhere in Asia, like Roger, or, in Europe, take good care of yourselves. Thank you so much. Peace and love.
African Father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle.